Joining us now is a small business owner in Virginia, Travis Croxton. Travis was able to take advantage of the VA 30-day small business fund from Pete Snyder. He's the owner of Rappahannock Oyster Company. This is an amazing oyster hatchery. He's got restaurants based in Topping, Virginia. They've also got one in Richmond, two in Washington, D.C., Union Market and the Wharf, and others up and down the East Coast. The Virginia 30-day fund backed them this week as their restaurants obviously have been hammered by this crisis, and he is joining us now. Travis, great to have you with us.
Thanks, John. How are you doing?
Good. Travis, tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, we have an oyster company that dates to 1899 with our great-grandfather. It's my cousin and I resurrected in '02. We had some, we call it Forrest Gumpian success, and turned it into, we sell across the country, a little bit of exports. Then we also, 7 years ago, started opening up a couple restaurants so that people could actually, taste their oysters and local beers and wines and feature farmer friends of ours that we knew. And that, also snowballed. And then, so, as you mentioned, there's restaurants from D.C., Charleston, and even out in Los Angeles. So we saw this pandemic kind of hit at different times. And then, within like 10 days, we kind of lost everything. So we had to furlough 320 people within a matter of 10 days. And,
320 people?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
So about 50 per restaurant. And then the Oyster Company, which is, the what we've done for, 20 years or so, that's 25 people. So we had to, look them in the eye after no fault of their own and tell them, hey, we have to preserve what's in the bank account. So you got something to come back to. So, we were only able to retain 4 people. With the Oyster Company, we sell to restaurants and wholesalers. That's 98% of our business. And overnight, within a week.
Well, that's gone, right? That's wiped out.
Exactly. Within
wiped
a
out.
week, it was done.
So,
so
Travis, basically your company got crushed on two ends of your revenue stream. The restaurant part of your business got annihilated because you can't open, shut down, so you get zero revenue except what you have for takeout. And then the oyster production business, which you sell to restaurants except for their little takeout, that got crushed. So your two main sources of revenue, as I understand it, were cut out.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you survive?
We're trying. So we had to pivot really hard. Like you mentioned, takeout with the restaurants, that's just a Band-Aid. I mean, really, we're keeping the key folks, the general manager, executive chef on payroll, just so the employees know that we will reopen. That, that's the message. If we shuttered it completely, they might lose some faith. But that's just a Band-Aid. There's no revenue there. And with the oyster business, we always have online sales to residents, internet customers, but it's mainly during the holidays and a few things weekly here and there. We have pivoted really hard to pushing, hey, get these in home, or buy them and ship them to a friend. And so that's actually, we've seen tremendous support all across Virginia and the country. I've got customers that are ordering twice a week now to their house, and that's actually the thing that's keeping us alive. And we've been able to add 2 more employees back on. The fund from Pete is going to help us bring back a couple more. So we got to rebuild it again, like we didn't know too, because who knows? Like you mentioned, this thing, they might drag it out forever. So we had to completely overhaul their business model. It changes
the only way.
supply.
Look, what you're doing is you're in survival mode, and we're with Travis Croxton. He's the owner of the Rappahannock Oyster Company. You have to retool your entire business in order to survive. Your restaurant, now, how many do you have in Virginia?
We have 2 in Virginia,
Right.
Rappahannock and Richmond, which is doing fantastic takeout food offerings, and Merroir down in Topping, which is right on the Rappahannock, and that's also you can drive up, look at the water, and get your food. Eat at a picnic table as long as you're 10 feet away from everyone else. So those are two in Virginia, and our place up at the wharf is really doing a great menu also for takeout up there.
Well, look, I'm in D.C. right now. You have to have a mask on. Everything is shut down. I don't know what the mayor is going to do here. I think there's a tremendous amount of pressure on Governor Northam and the other legislators in Virginia. Virginians want to be free. They want to be able to go out. They want to be able to do things. The discussion I had with his chief of staff yesterday about restaurants said that, they were looking at a model on May 8th that is going to be based on social distancing, but they were not going to do the 10 people a store thing. It was going to be based on square footage, so that'll help a little bit. But I got to tell you right now, it's Friday, right? TGIF, people have been stuck at home. I love oysters. Right now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to www.roysters.com, 2 R's, rroysters.com, and I'm going to go ahead and order a whole bunch of oysters for the weekend so I can, at least when I get home, have something fun to do. Because normally Friday, it's date night. You go out. I mean, date night is turned into basically going to the Exxon station and getting a roadie. I mean, that's basically what date night's turned into with a beer. So, I mean, and Ann and I we always did date night. I have fought for date night. I've been married a very long time, 3 decades, Travis, and I fight for date night. I fight for it, and I think it's the key to a marriage. You have to get your spouse out. She's always got something to do. I fight for it. But now, there's nowhere to go. In fact, two people can't even go to the store at the same time. So, right. if I even want to be with her in the car and she's going to the Food Lion, I have to sit in the car. So you can't go to the store. So forget date night. So date night for me is going to be a whole thing of your oysters. Go to www.rroysters.com. Order them now. www.rroysters.com. So Travis, Pete Snyder and Burson Snyder Fund, the VA 30-day fund.com. Did that make a difference?
Yeah, totally. I mean, you're waiting on PPP, things that may not come to fruition. Our employees that we furloughed, I mean, they're not able to get unemployment because the officials aren't. I mean, some get it, some don't. I mean, it's just they're not getting the paychecks that they should through the UI process, which is a whole other story, an article for another time. But it's so inefficient, and we have a relief fund for employees because dealing with DC government to get should be check marks for them. It's not happening. So this fund, like I said, it's going to help us put back 2 more people on our team. I'm doing roles in the company that have not actually performed since 2004. I'm not good at it. I need my people back. They're much better at it than I am.
Well, listen, I mean, people don't realize what small business owners go through. The 2 of us, you have to do things that as you lay people off. But I love what you're doing. You're trying to retool your business, and then you applied for the Virginia VA 30-day fund. You got $3,000, and that allowed you to keep 2 people on and keep them paid. See, that's really what this whole thing is about now, is how do we keep our employees? How do we keep them paid? Retraining is a disaster. If you have valuable employees and then they have to get furloughed, I mean, it not only destroys your business in the survival mode, but then as hopefully we can ramp up one day, I mean, I don't want to lose. I got a couple of top people that have been with me for a long time. I don't want to lose them because it creates all kinds of problems going forward, right?
Yeah, that's the key. Well, I mean, once everything hopefully resumes, they know the job inside and out. They do a fantastic job of it. We need it back, so this, we're trying one at a time to bring it back and build up the revenue to where, we can do it. We're not putting the money in our pockets. We're trying to, help our team as much as possible.
I tell you, it's great to talk to you, Travis Croxton, because I need to do this more, talk to small business owners in Virginia because it gets kind of tough for us. We have to band together and talk to each other because the fact that another $250 billion is being,
Yeah,
I
it's mind-blowing.
can't even say it without choking up. I've got small business people that call me up and said, I've applied for the loan. I needed to stay in business in April, and the fund has run out of money. So I go to my bank, and they're like, I can't process your loan application because the fund has run out of money. So it's not like I don't want to do it or I can't do it or I'm busy. By law, there's no more funds. So we have to wait till it's replenished in order to get in your loan. And people are like, well, wait a minute. It took me a week to get the paperwork. A lot of small businesses are not organized the way some are. You know, we happen to be, my CFO, Ann, is my wife. Every I is dotted, every T is crossed, every document is there. There's not a thing that goes by her. So bang, she was able to get it in. She had all the documents. A lot of people don't operate that way. They have things in boxes, shoe boxes. You know how it is starting out. So a lot of people don't have access to that. Now the Democrats are holding up, Travis, another $250 billion that the president says we need to fund these other companies, and they're holding it up for political reasons. That's sick. It's sick.
Yeah, no, we need. I don't care what side that you're on. This should be a clean bill. Give it out. We had everything documented. We have a couple banks. One of them approved it. I mean, worked it really simple, and the other one had their own internal issues. And I'm reading from fellow friends of mine, business owners, that no one got funded through that bank. Their systems glitched up. They couldn't process it. So it's infuriating. And then on the other hand, hearing from employees when you check in with them and they're saying, "Hey, I still haven't received any unemployment checks in 4 weeks now," and we call in, we're calling on their behalf, and there's no answer. So people aren't getting paid, even though they're filing correctly. It's infuriating on both levels with the government, honestly.
It's look, whenever the government is involved, there's going to be issues, and now states are involved in it. But I tell you what, the heroes in this are small community banks. We bank with a small credit union called Bayport Credit Union. They're based in Newport News, Virginia. They got maybe 3 or 4 branches, tiny little bank. And I tell you what, our banker has been working 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's the big banks. A lot of them came to this program kicking and screaming. They didn't think the fee was high enough. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Worst of the lot, Wells Fargo. Oh, let's see. Is it Wells Fargo, the same big bank that took the bailout money and then put up with all their competition in the West instead of reinvesting it in Main Street? Oh, and then with the money after they bought up their competition, guess what they did, Travis? Then they went and they screwed millions of their customers by overcharging them for fees for things they didn't need, right? And the CEO, well, he had to resign, but he got a $57 million golden parachute going out the door. That Wells Fargo. You have got to be kidding me. So you got me fired up, Travis, but I gotta go. Look, it's Friday. Can't go to date night, but here's what you can do. You can get oysters on Friday night or Saturday. That's going to be fun. Go to www.rroysters.com. Order them now. www.rroysters.com. Want to thank Pete and Bursa Snyder for all they do, and the VA 30-Day Fund.